When we think of counterfeit goods, we usually think of knockoff bags or fake watches. But today, we're going way deeper than that. We're going to dissect a global system, a surprisingly sophisticated machine of psychological manipulation. It's a system that's been built from the ground up to exploit one of our most powerful human desires, the need for status. We're going to unmask how it works, why our own brains are so vulnerable to it, and most importantly, how you can build a rock-solid defense against it. Let's get into it.
The most pervasive deception in retail isn't the price, it's the promise of scarcity and exclusivity. That right there, that single idea is the key that unlocks this entire industry. You see, the scam isn't really about selling you a product, it's about selling you a feeling, the illusion of high status. And as we're about to see, that emotional pull is a much more powerful reason to buy than the actual quality of whatever shows up at your door. It's a subtle but really profound trick that these operators have absolutely mastered.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into what I'm calling the status paradox. Then, we'll step into the digital trap where these scams live and breathe. We'll break down the anatomy of the scam piece by piece, then look at what happens to your brain on bargains. After that, we'll build the mandatory defense. And finally, we'll talk about the real cost of status.
Okay, let's start with the core vulnerability. The product these criminals are really pushing isn't a handbag or a watch, it's the feeling of status that they know you get with it. They know that for a lot of us, a luxury item's real job isn't its craftsmanship, but the social signal it sends, that we've made it, right? And this creates a paradox. People will pay for the illusion of status, even if the thing itself is worthless, because that illusion has real emotional value. This is the weak spot they target, every single time.
So where does a crime like this thrive? Well, it thrives online, in the anonymous, all-visual world of e-commerce. The internet has basically created the perfect breeding ground for this kind of deception. Why? Because it removes our ability to touch and feel the product, it gets rid of any expert verification, and it isolates us as buyers. We're left totally relying on the images we see on our screen. And believe me, those images are very carefully chosen.
And just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this number, $1.2 trillion. That's the estimated value of the global counterfeit trade every single year. This is not a couple of small-time scammers. This is a massive, coordinated criminal enterprise with revenues that rival the economies of entire countries. And this industry, it funds organized crime, and because the products are totally unregulated, they can pose real health and safety risks to you. The scale is just immense, and it's all built on a simple digital illusion.
And this right here perfectly illustrates that illusion. On the left, you've got the promise, a flawless, professional product photo, which is almost always stolen directly from the official brand's website. These images are designed to make you feel like you're getting something authentic, something high quality. But on the right, that's the reality. A cheap, low-quality replica, probably made with shoddy materials, that doesn't come close to what you were promised. The entire business model lives in that gap between what you see and what you get.
So here's the crucial point. The very nature of shopping online creates the vulnerability. Think about it. In a real store, you can touch the leather, you can feel the weight of the watch, check the stitching. Online, all of that physical verification is gone. You're forced to trust the pixels on a screen. And these counterfeiters have become absolute experts at manipulating those pixels. They've turned the convenience of e-commerce into their most powerful weapon.
Okay, so let's get into the forensic breakdown of how they actually pull this off. This is not random. It's a calculated, three-stage system designed for mass deception. You can think of it as the status impersonation system.
This attack flow is methodical. It has three distinct parts. First, there's the facade creation, where they build the trap. Second, the status hook, where they lure you in. And third, financial extraction, where they take your money and make sure you can never get it back. So let's start with step one, facade creation. This is where they source ridiculously cheap products and build a digital storefront that looks completely legit, using stolen logos and those professional photos we talked about. Their goal is to create what psychologists call cognitive fluency.
This is the crucial moment. And cognitive fluency just means your brain processes the website easily. It looks and feels like every other professional online store you've ever used. So it feels familiar, it feels safe, and that lowers your natural skepticism. Once your guard is down, they hit you with step two, the status hook. And this is their main weapon, an unbelievable discount on a luxury item. I'm not talking 20% off, I'm talking 70, 80, even 90% off. This offer is specifically designed to trigger a powerful emotional response, that desire for the item mixed with an intense fear of missing out.
Here's where the manipulation flips. That intense desire to snatch up that bargain starts to overpower your rational brain. That little voice in your head saying, this seems too good to be true, it gets completely drowned out by a louder voice screaming, if I don't buy this right now, I'm going to miss out forever. Your own desire becomes the tool they use against you. And that leads directly to step 3, financial extraction. At checkout, they're going to steer you towards their favorite payment methods, debit cards, wire transfers, maybe Zelle. These are basically digital cash, untraceable with zero fraud protection. They avoid credit cards because of one crucial feature, the chargeback.
This is the psychological choke point. By getting you to use a payment method with no way to get your money back, they lock you in. Once that money is sent, it's gone. For good. No bank can reverse it. They'll often pair this with fake tracking numbers to buy themselves time, to delay you from realizing you've been scammed. And just like that, the trap is complete.
So we've seen how they do it, but to really get this, we need to explore why it all works so well. Let's dive into the cognitive biases, the little shortcuts in our own minds that these scammers are so incredibly good at exploiting.
So why does this work so effectively? I mean, why does smart, cautious people fall for these scams every single day? Well, it's because the system isn't designed to trick your rational mind. No, it's designed to bypass it completely by targeting these deep-seated emotional shortcuts in how we think. The first, and honestly, the most powerful bias, is the status heuristic. This is a mental shortcut where our brain automatically links owning a high-status item with having high personal value. The item becomes more than just an object. It becomes a symbol of success. Counterfeiters know this. They know you're not just buying a watch. You're buying the respect and admiration you think comes with it. They are, in a very real way, selling you an upgrade to your own identity.
Next up, they weaponize the scarcity heuristic, which we all know as FOMO, the fear of missing out. The second we see phrases like limited stock, sale ends today, or that insane 70% discount, our brain senses a rare, fleeting opportunity. This triggers an impulsive urge to buy now, pushing our more logical thinking to the side. It creates this sense of urgency that just stops us from thinking critically.
And finally, it's all wrapped up in this illusion of safety created by cognitive fluency. Like we said before, because the fake website is so polished and well-designed, our brains process it without any friction, and that ease creates a feeling of familiarity and trust. We subconsciously think, hey, this looks legit, so it must be legit. This lowers our guard and makes us far less likely to spot the warning signs that are hiding in plain sight.
All right, now that we've completely dissected the attack, let's build our defense. And this is the most important part of this whole explainer. We're moving from the problem to a clear, actionable protocol that you can actually use to protect yourself. This is about empowerment, not fear.
The single biggest red flag, the one thing that should make alarms go off in your head, is an unrealistic price on a high-status item. Real luxury brands control their pricing very carefully to maintain that feeling of exclusivity. Yeah, you might find a sale, but legitimate discounts almost never go beyond 30, maybe 40%. If you see a price that's 70, 80, or 90% off, you can be almost certain it's a counterfeit operation. That price isn't a bargain. It's the bait.
So if that price makes you suspicious, here is the ultimate, non-negotiable verification step. I call it the authentication test. It's so simple and it's definitive. Step 1. Don't trust the site you're on. Open a totally new browser window and go to the official brand website. Step 2. Look for a link that says something like authorized dealers or store locator. Every major brand has one. Step 3. Now check if the website you were about to buy from is on that official list. If it's not on the list, the product is not authentic, period. There are 0 exceptions to this. This one habit will protect you every single time. Finally, let's talk payment methods. Think of this as your last line of defense. On the left, you see the safe option, a credit card. Credit cards give you chargeback protection. If you get scammed, you can report it, and your credit card company will almost certainly reverse the charge. On the right are the unsafe methods. Debit cards, wire transfers, Zelle. These are like sending cash in an envelope. Once it's gone, it is almost impossible to get back. So please, always use a credit card for online purchases from vendors you don't know and trust. So, as we wrap this up, what's the core lesson here? What's the real takeaway from understanding this whole system? It's really about recognizing the true cost of that so-called bargain.
The key principle to remember is this: status that's offered cheaply always comes with a massive hidden cost. And it's not just the money you lose. It's the potential theft of your personal and financial data. It's the fact that you're funding a global criminal network. And it's the risk of getting an unregulated, maybe even unsafe product. That perceived bargain is never, ever a bargain.
So I'll leave you with a final protective mantra, a simple rule to remember anytime you see a deal online that feels too good to be true. Verify the seller, verify the price, and never compromise on the source. Your diligence is your absolute best defense.